Have you ever noticed how some traffic stops feel short, calm, and controlled, while others spiral fast? Same road, same laws, very different outcome. Now imagine for a minute, flashing lights in the mirror, your pulse jumps, and your mind starts racing through worst-case scenarios. Most people talk too much, react emotionally, or try to explain everything at once. That's usually where trouble starts. There's a reason experienced legal minds approach traffic stops like a sequence, not a conversation. Every word, pause, and movement has a purpose. Once you understand the pattern, the entire interaction changes and control quietly shifts back to you. Move 1. Control the first 10 seconds. The first moments of a traffic stop quietly shape everything that follows. Before a single word is exchanged, an officer is already observing behavior. How the car pulls over, how long it takes, and what movements happen inside the vehicle. Calm, predictable actions signal cooperation. Sudden movements, rushing, or visible agitation raise concern, even when no rule has been broken. Start with the pullover itself. Use your indicator early, slow down smoothly, and stop in a safe, visible place. This shows awareness and intent to comply. Once stopped, keep both hands clearly on the steering wheel. Avoid digging through compartments or reaching for documents until asked. From the officer's perspective, uncertainty creates risk, and risk changes tone. When the officer approaches, posture matters. Sit upright, face forward, and keep movements minimal. A neutral expression works better than nervous, smiling, or visible frustration. Silence during these seconds is powerful. Talking too early often leads to volunteer details that were never requested and never required. When the first words come, keep them simple and respectful. A brief greeting acknowledges the officer without opening a narrative. Tone matters more than content here. Calm delivery reduces tension and frames the interaction as routine rather than confrontational. This approach aligns with guidance used in law enforcement training, which emphasizes that early behavior influences officer perception and decision-making. According to the U.S. Department of Justice, officer safety assessments begin immediately upon vehicle stop, including driver movements and demeanor, not just compliance with commands. As stated in DOJ guidance on traffic stop procedures, an officer's initial observations often guide how the encounter proceeds. Controlling these first seconds does not guarantee a warning or citation outcome. It does something more important. It prevents the situation from escalating unnecessarily. It keeps the encounter procedural rather than emotional. Once that foundation is set, the next move focuses on what you say and what you intentionally leave unsaid. Move 2. Answer only what the law requires. Once the stop is underway, control is often lost through speech, not action. Stress makes people talk. Silence feels awkward, and many drivers try to ease it by explaining themselves. That instinct causes more problems than it solves. A traffic stop follows rules. Your responses should too. In most jurisdictions, the law requires a driver to provide specific items when asked: a driver's license, vehicle registration, and proof of insurance. Providing these when requested is compliance. Beyond that, many questions are optional, even when they sound friendly or routine. Questions like, "Do you know why I stopped you?" or "Where are you coming from?" are common, but they are not always legally required to answer. The risk is not in the question itself. The risk is in guessing. When drivers speculate about speed, distractions, or reasons for the stop, they often say something inaccurate or unnecessary. That statement can later support a citation or escalate the situation. Even an honest guess can be treated as an admission. Answering only what the law requires keeps the stop narrow. Short, direct responses reduce confusion. If a question does not require an answer, a calm pause or a polite refusal maintains boundaries without creating conflict. Tone matters. A neutral delivery communicates cooperation without volunteering information. Many people believe talking helps them look cooperative. In reality, cooperation is shown through actions, not explanations. Following instructions promptly, keeping hands visible, and producing documents when asked demonstrates compliance far more clearly than verbal justification. Another benefit of limited answers is consistency. Under stress, people contradict themselves without realizing it. A long explanation creates multiple details that can be misheard or misunderstood. A short response leaves little room for error. This approach does not rely on confrontation or legal language. It relies on restraint. You are not required to fill silence. You are not required to convince. You are not required to narrate your day. The stop proceeds whether you talk or not. Drivers who master this move often notice the stop feels shorter and more controlled. Fewer words mean fewer turns in the interaction. Fewer turns mean fewer opportunities for misunderstanding. Once words are managed, the next challenge is emotional control, specifically how to handle disagreement without letting it turn into tension. Move 3. Never argue, always redirect. Disagreement is where traffic stops often derail. A driver feels treated unfairly and tries to correct the officer in real time. That reaction feels logical, but it rarely helps. Roadside arguments do not change outcomes. They change tone. Officers control the stop. Challenging conclusions, debating speed estimates, or pointing out mistakes during the encounter tends to harden positions. Even when a driver is correct, the roadside is not the place to prove it. The moment turns from procedural to personal, and personal tension slows everything down. Redirection is different. It means acknowledging instructions without conceding facts. You comply physically and stay neutral verbally. If told you were speeding, you do not agree or disagree. You acknowledge the instruction and move on. This keeps the exchange focused on process, not persuasion. Credible legal guidance consistently advises against arguing during a stop. The American Civil Liberties Union clearly states that disputes should be handled later through the legal system, not on the roadside. In its guidance on police encounters, the ACLU explains that arguing on the street is unlikely to help and may make matters worse. Redirection also protects the record. Heated exchanges can be interpreted as non-cooperation or resistance, even when no such intent exists. Calm compliance avoids language or behavior that could later be described negatively in reports. This does not mean surrendering rights. It means choosing the right venue to exercise them. Courts, not curbs, are designed for fact-finding. A citation can be challenged. A roadside confrontation cannot be rewound. Drivers who master this move appear composed and predictable. That predictability lowers stress on both sides. The stop stays short. Instructions are clear. Outcomes become procedural rather than reactive. Once argument is removed from the equation, attention shifts to something quieter but far more important: what gets documented and how that record is formed. Move 4. Create a clean record. Every traffic stop creates a record, whether you see it or not. Notes are written. Dash cameras record. Body cameras capture tone, posture, and timing. This record matters far more than most drivers realize, especially if the stop leads to a citation or later review. Creating a clean record means behaving in a way that leaves little room for negative interpretation. Clear compliance with instructions, steady tone, and minimal movement reduce ambiguity. When actions are calm and predictable, reports tend to reflect that neutrality. When actions are rushed or emotional, the record often captures agitation or non-cooperation, even when none was intended. One overlooked part of the record is timing. How long it takes to pull over. How quickly documents are produced after being asked. Whether instructions are followed immediately. These details often appear in written narratives. Slow, deliberate responses are better than rushed ones. Precision reads as control. Another factor is language. Short, neutral responses are easier to document accurately. Long explanations increase the chance of selective quoting or misunderstanding. If a statement is unclear, it may be summarized rather than quoted, and summaries rarely favor the speaker. This approach aligns with guidance used in courtroom review of police encounters. According to the National Association of Criminal Defense Lawyers, documentation and officer observations play a central role in how traffic stops are later evaluated. As their guidance explains, officer reports, and recordings often become the primary evidence reviewed by courts. More information is available through nacdl.org resources on traffic stop procedures. Creating a clean record is not about performing or posturing. It is about leaving behind a factual trail that reflects calm compliance rather than tension. If the stop ends with a warning or citation, that clean record quietly supports you later. Once the record is under control, the final move focuses on how the encounter ends and why endings matter more than most people think. Move 5. End the encounter without escalation. The final moments of a traffic stop shape its lasting impact. Many drivers relax too early, assuming the outcome is already decided. That is often when mistakes happen. Tone shifts. Frustration slips out. Movements become careless. The record is still being created. Ending the encounter, well, means maintaining composure until the officer clearly releases you. Wait for instructions before reaching for documents or exiting the vehicle. Accept paperwork without commentary. A neutral acknowledgement closes the interaction cleanly. Escalation at the end often comes from emotional release. Drivers feel wronged and want to express it. That impulse can turn a routine stop into a prolonged one. Even a dismissive gesture or sarcastic remark can invite further scrutiny. Silence remains effective until the stop is fully concluded. This approach reflects how courts and oversight bodies assess encounters as a whole, not in parts. The International Association of Chiefs of Police emphasizes that encounters are evaluated based on total behavior, including how they end. Their training materials note that driver demeanor throughout the encounter, including the conclusion, informs officer reporting and review. Ending calmly also reduces risk. Many roadside incidents occur after the primary reason for the stop has passed. Staying still, listening carefully, and leaving only when told lowers that risk. Once released, re-enter traffic carefully and safely. The interaction is complete. There is nothing left to prove in that moment. Control during a traffic stop does not come from dominance or debate. It comes from sequence, restraint, and awareness. Those who master the ending often protect themselves better than those who focus only on the beginning. Outro. Traffic stops feel small, but the consequences never are. A few minutes on the roadside can shape citations, court outcomes, insurance costs, and even personal safety. The difference between control and chaos often comes down to discipline, not luck. These 5 moves are not about bending rules or winning arguments. They are about understanding how the system works and moving through it without giving away leverage. Most drivers react. Informed drivers respond with intention. That distinction matters more than speed, excuses, or confidence ever will. If this breakdown helped you see traffic stops differently, stay with us. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and share this with someone who drives regularly. The next stop could happen without warning, and preparation always beats panic. More guides like this are coming, clear, practical, and grounded in real-world outcomes.